Alright, mic check 1 2 1 2. Happy Daylight Savings Day. You know, it's a day that we all look forward to, right? I know I sure as shit don't. A little late start today because of the aforementioned holiday. But here we are, live and direct. Alright, let's get to it. Today is repair day. That'll be kind of a boring day today, I think. Let's turn that down a little bit. It's gonna be kind of a boring day today. Basically just gonna have a lot of USB-C port repair today, it looks like. Just leftovers from last week. I was supposed to have a switch light to work on today, but apparently that decided it wanted to go to Florida instead of my house. So I guess we're going to have to push that forward for another time. I think I'm going to be taking next weekend off due to some real life issues that I have to resolve. But we'll see. I might find some time on Sunday. I don't really know. Wi-Fi chip is not wanting to get picked up. So we'll see. We'll play it by ear. I'm not planning on streaming next weekend. No one really matters, but you know, just in case there is anybody out there who does want to stop by, I don't think I will be here. But with that being said, right now what we got on deck is a nice Nintendo Switch OLED board, which, if you remember last week, just refused to put out charging volts. Only negotiated 5 volts on one side and completely did not work on the other side. So we either have an issue with the USB port, an issue with M92, or both. And my thought on this one for now is that we merely have an issue with the USB port. Probably going to eat those words. We'll find out. But thankfully, I do have some spare ports for the OLED. Not many, but enough. Alrighty. So I guess the first thing that we really got to do is get this old port off. I mean, you can see this is the one where it has some very, very minor liquid damage. And yeah, it was not enough to really damage the board, but it did. Well, that's just from the glue that holds on that case, but if you look up here, you can see like this is bleh. And that is permanent. I cannot get that off. You also see some just minor, I think that is just thermal paste right there. Yeah, it looks like we'll give her a good scrub when we're done anyway, but yeah. Another quick look around the board real fast. But we got lucky. And when I did plug a known working battery into this, it popped right up. So, yeah, we could see very, very minor corrosion right there. Same over here. Just all just very, very minor stuff. I definitely need to go over this with a toothbrush. Does not want to focus today, does it? Let's take a look at the other side. You can see that there's just not massive amounts of damage like there normally is with a truly liquid damage board. There's some minor corrosion right there. I think we're going to assume that this zoom is good here. Just get rid of that. There's pi right there. Wait, the heck? I said go to manual focus, you son of a bitch. Alright, yeah, so it's just, you know, and I can't tell how much of that is actual liquid damage and what came up on matte. Now, there's an M92 right there. We did some testing around that last week and we were fine. But you can see, like, the slight rusting of this port, and the port itself, honestly, didn't really look too terrible on the inside. But something's not right. I don't like the way that really looks. I mean, it looks broken and junky, and there's just crap in there. So my opinion is, let's just get rid of this son of a bitch. And then we'll go from there. So we're going to get you into a board holder here. I'm going to start by flooding off with some leaded solder. And basically, this will help us remove this component slightly easier by lowering the melting point of the factory solder. Okay, should be good there. Let's get you out of inspection mode here. I'm gonna swap my tip out from what I've got to something just a little thicker. Nintendo and their infinite wisdom changed the USB port design again for this model. And I'm honestly not a very huge fan of the revision. I don't like anything that, like, so, like, I guess this one doesn't really, these are fine. The factory ones come with these shields, and I don't know if that's meant to prevent stuff from melting during, I don't know. But the shields are bullshit. I might have one lying around here. Yeah, here we go. Here's the shield. And it fits over the thing like this. But to be quite honest, I think I'm just going to leave it off. I don't really know what purpose the shield serves, to be quite honest. So I think I'm just going to leave it off. Boy, this new tube of Amtech is a pain in the butt. Now, big part of that's my fault because I took the plunger out last night for some stupid reason. Putting it back in causes massive amount of flux to come out, so that's great. We'll just clean that up later. Nothing a little alcohol can't take care of. It is just extremely messy. Let's flood these ports with some solder, huh? Yes, again, this is just is just to mix the unleaded solder with leaded solder, and what that does is, again, helps lower the melting point. So when I go run my hot air iron over it, let's light off here. It'll help the port come unglued a lot easier. Just a little bit of flux, and then kind of hold your iron over it for a little bit. Let it flow through. Same thing with this guy. Kind of helps to get the iron on the actual pad there. It's a bit blobby for my taste, but it's not wanting to go through. I think I probably forced some through there. Yeah, I just have a lot of excess. That'll all come off. A little sloppy job there, but doesn't need to really be perfect for what we're doing. See this crap right here? Ugh. It's kind of fused itself to the actual port. Once again, we're taking this thing off anyway, so that's not a huge deal. Okay, I'm gonna bring our hot air station in. Actually, do we want to look at the other side real quick? No, I'm gonna let those. Kind of want those pads to melt along the same temperature lines as the hidden ones, just so might have to clean that off too. I think I'll bridge that somehow. We're again around 420 degrees Celsius there. We're kind of just trying to basically heat everything up all at once. The port should just kind of almost fall out on its own after a bit. Might have to give it a little tap-taparoo, but there she goes. A little bit longer than I was hoping for, but let's see if we did any damage. Looks good to me, visually. Let's clean this up real fast. Got some crappy burnt flux in the map. You can see it in the north part of my screen there. Just go ahead and get that off. Okay. So then we take a look at the actual pads. You can see that they're all still intact. You can definitely see the couple that were holding on longer than they needed to be. And so that kind of leads us to our next... Oh Lord, I just stuck my hand right on that port and burned the living crap out of myself. That scared the crap out of me. That's going to feel lovely later. Remember, folks, hot things are hot. Alright, so let's just get out of the board holder real quick. Let's cool down for a little bit too. Get a better look at this. Oh, no, not too bad. Got a little fluff on the board somehow. Pull that off. Not too bad. There's BQ right there. Port design does look to be about the same though. A little flux on those pads. Grab me some fresh wick. I had a pair of scissors over here somewhere. I've got it. Oh, there they are. I prefer using scissors over that clipper. In case any of you are wondering, no, I did not organize my bench like I said I would because I'm lazy and did not feel like it. I think I'll probably get to that tomorrow. Take a break from work, break the day up a little bit, and rip the workbench apart. And alright, so a little bit of solder braid, and solder braid will just basically remove the old solder that's on the board so I can replace it with fresh solder. And you just kind of want to glide with the pads. Remember that. You don't want to go across the pads, you want to go with the pads. That'll prevent you from lifting them. And everything should just kind of glide. You shouldn't have to put any pressure, except for maybe over here on the through holes. These things always fight me. Almost always have to use a little bit of hot air for me. Everybody else seems to be able to get these just fine, but for me, I always seem to have to use just some hot air to get that. Well, that one worked. Okay, well, let's keep going. Let's try it with this one. Just a very thin layer of solder in there. Might be able to get that from the other side. Okay. So far so good. This is honestly the best luck I've had with doing through-hole soldering. Usually it's not that much of an issue for me, but like with these switchboards, I don't know what it is about these USB grounding points, but they just never in the past seem to want to come up for me. And I almost always just had to like throw on a bit of hot air. There we go. So we still have that one up top there, which we might just kind of flip the board over real quick. Let's see about maybe getting to it from this side. Kind of watch the solder get sucked up the braid too, and it's usually a good sign that you're A-okay. And that, folks, is a lovely cleaned off USB port. Now I lost my alcohol the other night because I kicked it. There it is. Again, more reasons why. Oh boy, I really need to organize this bench. I need workflow. I don't have workflow. This feels so cramped. I'm making it work. No, I will say the one thing I don't like about that Gootwick stuff is that it burns so easy, and it is a monumental pain in the ass to clean. So I think I'm going to go back to sticking with MG Chemicals, honestly. I don't know why that stuff got recommended. I don't like it. It is a I mean, it works well. Don't get me wrong. It's just, God, this is such a freaking pain. Like, look at all that crap it left on the board. Like, all this shit. That stuff, I think, was there anyway. This is all eaten away from whatever the heck. You know, one thing I do have to eventually add to the collection here when I can afford it is a legitimate ultrasonic cleaner. I really kind of do need one because some of these boards, especially the liquid damage ones, really kind of do need a good run through it. When you start using a lot of flux, it's usually a good idea to have an ultrasonic clean at the end of it just to really get it off. But we could see the port area itself. Does seem to be okay. Sure, we could just maybe scrub a little bit here. Yeah, see, like you can see on the edge of the board how this is just burnt flux, really. Yeah, it's kind of, it's a weird pin pattern when I'm looking at this port for the first time. Like, everything is, it's off center. That's, I never noticed that before, honestly. I don't know. I don't know if it's because they weren't happy with the design or if they just kind of trying to make things harder on everybody who fixes these things. I don't know why they changed the port design up so much. Yeah, that's weird. You can see, like, God, that is so freaking weird. And this one has these weird little wings. So, see, this port looks all nice and shiny and clean and is brand new. What's up, Fuff? How are you? How are you? Got to start getting this board prep for a new USB port. Probably should be using a different tip for this, but we're going to try anyway. God, this stuff just burns so easy. I am not a fan. Not a fan of this stuff. I have 400 degrees Celsius and it just like didn't even last a freaking heartbeat. Man, what a pain. passable. Stick you off to the side there. I'm gonna tin up now. This step is mostly unnecessary. But I think that, honestly, anything that really kind of helps the solder flow, makes the job easier. God, I just do not. My God, that is way too much flux. But I can't get a little bit out because every time I push the plunger down a little bit, like a freaking gallon comes out. So far, Mr. Lewis Rossman, I am really not impressed with this shit. So, once again, I think I'm just going to go back to my old trusty MG Chemicals, eh? Nice little coating of solder. Make sure that at the end right there is not a bridge, which kind of looks like it is. It could just be flux. That is 100% a solder bridge. Yes. Yes. Okay, clean the tip off. Okay, looking okay there. I think we might still have a micro bridge at the top of those pins. It's kind of hard to tell with the flux over everything. I think we're good though. We'll flip that over real quick again. And then see about looks good there. Should have a nice yep, okay, all nice and silver. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I don't know if you're there, Fuff, or not, but how's that handheld holding up for you? The one that you had to do a little repair work on. That thing looked kind of neat, not gonna lie. This is just not a workable solution. think I'm going to have to redo that one. Got a little weird on me there. I don't think I got those pins right, but we'll see. I don't mind a little rework if I need to. Yeah, those are not really where I want them to be. Not terrible, or not perfect either, so we're going to have to... I will say, they are soldered perfect. Might get away with it. It's not my best work. Probably going to just say screw it and redo it because I don't like... They're off by just a millimeter. That doesn't seem like it's soldered anyway. I mean, I'm gonna let the board cool here for a second. I'm thinking though, like everything's soldered fine, but it's like off by like a quarter of a millimeter. But you know, the soldering job was pretty good, so I'll pat myself on the back for that one, eh? Okay, not really, but you know, close enough. Not too bad for being cramped and whatnot. Do just a double solid check here. There was one that I was kind of concerned about. What was this one right here? God dang it. Bro. I swear this autofocus is going to drive me nuts. Okay. Let's leave that up for now. Even that one got soldered okay. So, I mean, you know, it's so far so good. Do a quick test here real fast. I don't have those ground legs soldered in, but pull the ammeter into play. We're just kind of hoping to see 15 volts, really. 15 volts. Okay, other side. 15 volts. Well, that one put up a charging current, the other one didn't. I wonder, is that... Nope, there we go. Okay. Okay, so then that means we can take our handy dandy, super wonky, awesome test battery, plug you in. Okay, so folks, remember now, with the battery plugged in, when I plug the USB charger in, I should see the ammeter pop up to about 0.47, 0.48 amps, and then it should kind of reset, like turn itself off and turn itself back on again. And that indicates it's getting to at least second stage boot. 0.46. And there's the reset. Folks, we have a bootable switch. Okay, still have some work left to do on this board. Very, very basic, but don't forget that when you solder in your USB ports, if you're like me and you don't enjoy I don't like leaving the through. I don't like filling my through holes with solder. I know there's a bunch of people out there who prefer doing that, so that they don't have to do this step, and that's fine. For me personally, I think it makes it harder because you've got to make sure that all those through holes are wetted down, and I guess it's just extra steps that I feel aren't really needed, especially because you could just come in with your soldering iron later and fill them up. But like if you're looking for utmost efficiency and you want to get this job done as quickly as possible, then filling these through holes with solder is not a bad call. Basically, those 4 posts right there, I am going to be filling with solder. That's weird. Does this seem like maybe that's normal, but those holes are lined up right. Should work. I mean, if I have to come back in here and reheat this and tap it backwards, I'm not going to be too upset about that. So, once again, our friend Flux to the rescue. Let's add a little bit of flux to each of these mounting points. We'll help the solder flow down. And bigger the glob, better the job, right? Should be all I need. Let's stick with the same tip I used before. Thicker tips work better on larger pads and heavier metals. So in this case, we're just gonna kind of flood this. You're gonna want to see it come through the other side. So when we're done all these, we're gonna flip the board over. If you pay attention to the tip, you can kind of see it move from the tip down through the hole. So you see how it kind of like glugs. Okay. So to make my life easier, I'm going to flip this around as I'm trying to avoid getting any solder stuck to the port. So let's clean this tip off some too. Okay. Then we're just going to flip the board over real quick, and then we're going to take a look at our work from the other side. And yeah, we can see the solder came up through all those legs just fine. Part of me just really wants to rejigger this port just a tad, but I don't want to break something that's working, so for now, we'll see if it fits into the case. It should. I don't think I'll have an issue, but you never know. I'm not and again, that's another thing that changed too, is the way these things fit into the case, and I'm not a fan. It is a major pain in the ass to get these boards in the OLED cases. Okay, so if you do have some issues with the burnt flux not wanting to come off, I can just reheat this board. Heat makes the flux liquefy again, and it does kind of come off a little bit easier. This stuff is really, really kind of burned on there, huh? And I'm just not a fan of this flux, man. Look at that. Just chunky crap for what? Why? Why do people like this stuff so much? This is a pain in the ass. I might actually write to Mr. Rossman and see what the fuck is going on. Why this stuff seems to just burn so easily. I'm bitching and I'm complaining, and it very well could be my technique. Like, don't think I'm not self-aware of that. I recognize that I live up to my channel name a lot. I am an idiot, so maybe I could improve my technique to get this flux to not burn so much. I'll have to ask around to figure out what I'm doing wrong. But I never really had that issue so much with the MG Chemical stuff. Part of me wants to go and give that Kingbo stuff a try too, but China Flux makes me really nervous. Let's see. My new Spotify station is definitely exactly what I was looking for. This is my music right here, folks. If I could find some old school atmospheric channels too, that'd be amazing. Some LTJ Bookham. Got this mark up here, and I think this is just, oh, maybe it is burnt flux. See, look at that. Like it's crystallized to the board, and this is this all feeds back into the. I'd love to have an ultrasonic cleaner because that would take care of all this crap. How boring is it watching someone clean a circuit board, guys? It's got to be fascinating content. Scrub a dub dub. You're also dealing with a little bit of my OCD with this stuff. Although if you knew me in real life, you would not think that cleaning was something I'm OCD'd about. When it comes to this stuff, it is. Yeah, like look at this. I'm gonna. Alright, so this is what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna make my life a little easier. And we're just gonna heat this board up. Not to the point where solder melts, but if we can get that excess flux that's on that board just to kind of a little liquid. Using way too hot air for this, but I'm also kind of keeping it farther off the board than I normally do. Those things get nice and burn your hands to the touch, which it just did. I was not expecting it to heat up that quick, but it did. See that board got very hot because the alcohol is evaporating pretty much instantly. It's kind of what I wanted. I probably should have just stuck with my normal. I usually keep it around 100 degrees Celsius. That should do it though. Just kind of wanted to, I mean, I discolored the, I don't even know where this goes, honestly. Where did that go? I guess we could just leave it. I honestly don't even know. Boy, I burned the shit out of my hand. Screw it, whatever, who cares? That is gonna smart, and of course it's on my index fingers, so when I go tight for the next 3 days. Cold water. Well, I had to get up anyway to go grab all the lovely little pieces for this. Okay. So what device is this? Fuff, this is a Nintendo Switch OLED. This is the third one I've attempted to repair. And I think so far the second one I've managed to repair. Yes, OLED, dude. They've started to become a little bit more reasonable, and this one I actually got for a fucking steal, and I'm like almost kind of convinced the guy didn't even really know what he had, or they look like liquidators, but oh man, I really burned the shit out of myself. I picked this up for like 100 plus shipping, or like 100 plus tax. It was like around $120 all said and done. Oh, it's not a hoodie. It is a robe. And yes, it is cozy as fuck. So these things kind of have to fiddle with the freaking port here. I don't think so. At least not yet. However, there are some really cool mods for the GameCube if you're interested there, Fuff. They're really easy to do. So we're getting, this is a fan connector right here. And I've got to get, son of a gun, see ya. go. Careful not to squish this LCD connector too much. Okay. Okay. Stream Deck is way too chunk. I have an old Wii that hasn't seen the light of day in years. Yeah, they've been doing some pretty interesting things with Wiis lately. I really wish that guy didn't discontinue that project of his that made a handheld Wii. I thought that thing was cool as shit. I don't know why that got discontinued. Because I thought that thing looked cool as hell, and I would have fucking bought and built one in a heartbeat just to have a portable Wii. I wasn't a very big fan of the system overall, but I think it still would be kind of cool as a cool project. Okay, so right now, yeah, that thing was cool as shit, man. I mean, it's not something new. Like they've portableized a ton of console-based systems over the years. I think that should be really. Oh, let's just do this real quick. All right, well, a moment of truth on this one, because all right, I'm gonna plug in my test battery because I know this thing is dead, and we're gonna have to charge that. But okay, moment of truth, eh? Second stage boot. Horizon operating system. There you go, folks. Words cannot express, Fuff, how gorgeous the screen is, though. It is so freaking nice, man. It just looks so good. So good. Cool. Well, there you have it. There's my second switch fixed. Or second OLED switch fixed. So I do want to see, though, real quick. We should be good. I just want to make sure this battery isn't like dead. Now, the cool thing about the switch batteries is they do have a piece of circuitry in them that like prevents you from over discharging. I'm getting a charge. There we go. Okay, and I'm seeing 0.10. Okay, we're good. Basically, I'm going to have to just charge this one off camera to get the battery fully functional. But as it stands, it's good to go. And now I could just kind of put everything back together. And you need one of these. You know, the funny thing is, though, Fuff, if you really wanted to talk about buying one from me, I might be able to cut you a small deal on one. You can use all your existing Switch hardware with it. The only thing that's different is the screen. So it'll still work with your dock. It'll still work with your Joy-Cons, all your wireless controllers. All that's just the same. The only thing really functionally different on the OLED Switch is the screen. Innards wise, they've made some revisions and stuff, but yeah, functionality wise, it's literally just a Switch. And I think that's pretty cool. So, you know, at least they were smart enough to do that and not force you to buy a OLED dock and an OLED Joy-Cons and whatnot. Which, you know, knowing Nintendo is not uncommon. So that is the power button, and the little ribbon up here that controls power and volume. That's where that goes. This is the fan connector right here. I hate this one. This one always fights me. You gotta kind of yank it out a little bit and angle it down. Help if I have that undone too. Once I got it. I think we got that one good, eh? This one comes a nice little white line built in on the top of the cable to let you know you're plugged in straight, which again, I've said before, but I wish all of them looked like that. You don't have anything newer than the Wii. Well, if you were thinking about getting into the Switch then, Fuff, I would wait another couple of months. I mean, it's actually probably going to be closer towards Christmas of this year. But the big, almost confirmed rumor is that the Switch 2, Switch Pro, whatever you want to call it, is coming out in Q4 of this year. Usually that happens right around, Thanksgiving, Black Friday time, American Thanksgiving, Black Friday time. It's been confirmed by a few different Chinese sources that the hardware is already in production. So you're going to probably be paying around $350 for a brand new system though. American dollars, I don't know what that is in Canadian dollars. Probably a couple houses worth, but this is a Joy-Con rail I'm struggling with right now. Come on. This does not want to line up for me. There we go. Boy, it does not want to. There we go. I really just kind of want to screw with me a little bit, huh? The fun part is I gotta figure out where all these screws go. I definitely don't disagree with you on that one, Fuff. I mean, I think the Switch is neat, but I'm a PC gamer, homie, and ain't much gonna stop that. Those are all shielding. These are all outside of the case. And this is all for internal. You never know, Fuff. You never know. I might be able to find a good deal for you at some point if you do want to be irresponsible. I don't know what shipping up to Canada would cost for one of these, though. They're not that heavy. Okay. Trying to keep the speaker wire away from the screw here. That's all I need. So these three right here for the heat sink. want to wait on the heatsink. I'm gonna have to do one or two more tests here, so that I can verify the SD reader and the game card reader are working, and that the Joy-Con readers are working. And then I will button her up now. I think I was right. I should be right. And I've got 3 small for the... and then that should go to the Wi-Fi reader. Now the Wi-Fi reader has disappeared on me. Oh, here it is. Okay. So with the OLED switches, they put the game card reader and the SD card reader and the audio jack on this weird daughter board that connects with an FPC connector right here. I don't know if I'm a big fan of this design. I liked and much preferred the more modular design of the original Switch, where all these were just separate little boards, and then the audio jack was a module that plugged in. This is a module that plugged in. This just seems like you're kind of screwed if like one thing goes bad on this. Do I have to replace the whole thing? I mean, no, you technically don't, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. It's not terrible, but I think it was a step back in my honest opinion. And so now I gotta listen for this stupid FPC connector to make sure I got it in there right. That's the other thing that kind of sucks is these blind connections are just... Did I mangle that somehow? I think I did. Dang it. Okay. And so these little connector things are kind of clip into this board. And I think that's how they work. Or are they just like a spring? I don't know. Yeah, I don't see like a connector on this for it, so I don't know what that really clips into. But I'm really not too familiar. I'm going to look at this while I do it. There we go. Okay. So once you get everything lined up, it's okay, but yeah, it's just not my favorite design. I think they could have done better. So I think the last long screw that I've got goes here to hold this board in place. Okay, so now we're solid. So, okay, so let's go ahead and do some quick tests again. We're gonna have to unplug the battery, put in my test battery here. The Ryzen 5 stuff I mentioned sounded pretty mean. Dude, I am an AMD fanboy through and through. There's nothing wrong with Intel. I think for the more budget-oriented people and the more value-oriented people, Ryzen's the way to go. And they're quickly also kind of starting to dominate with their GPUs as well. But the Ryzen architecture is very cool in how it works, and I've loved mine. You know, I'm sure if you really needed those extra 2 frames a second or whatever that Intel offers, then you're going to go with Intel. But bang for your buck, AMD is the way to go. Game card. So I got a game card. Game card right there. I got an SD card right there. All right, let's make sure the volume and power button work as well. So basically I'm going to press on the, I believe this is the power button right here. Yes, it is. All right, so we're doing some functionality tests right now. We're just going to check to make sure the games can be read, and the SD card can be read, and that the Joy-Cons get picked up and function. I've been using this Zelda as a test. Game card is fine. And then when I plug this in, we're going to expect to see a message that tells me that the card's not formatted correctly, which is A-OK. And we do not get that. There we go. Okay. I think we have an issue with the micro SD card reader. Well, the fan's working. It does not seem like it wants to like click in. Okay, that worked. Okay, I think we're good. Fan's working. All right, well, actually, no, we're not good just yet. I do have to test the Joy-Cons. Double check the Wi-Fi. Try and do this as quick as possible because there's no thermal paste on the CPU, so I don't want it to get too hot. Got left Joy-Con. We do not have right. Okay. Okay. All right. This is why we test. Your mobile is your biggest bottleneck. It's very rare that you hear someone say that, but I definitely know in your situation that, yeah, that seems to be the case. If you're stuck at 2100 megahertz RAM or 2400 megahertz RAM, it's very, very odd and very, very rare that a mobile will limit you, but that's also another problem with going with Intel too. Although I think they've kind of changed their tune a little bit on that, and they started making their sockets work for a generation or two. All right, so right Joy-Con, right Joy-Con rail was not working. Okay, so do I not have that plugged in right, or? I did not have the latch closed. Or I did? Did I? No, you don't. You don't, and that's honestly the biggest problem with Intel. Is you kind of like you really only get a CPU generation or two before you got your forced upgrade. Still nothing on the right Joy-Con rail. Okay. So there's an issue. It worked. I had to push down on the connector though. Yeah, something is just not. It works once it gets plugged in, but okay. the Joy-Con rail itself. Might have. Maybe I damaged the cable? Let's try it again. Seems to be okay now. Okay. We seem to be good there. The last thing I wanted to do real quick, just verify I can see my network. There it is. I don't have my Wi-Fi antennas plugged in, but yeah, we'll get that done here in a second. So okay. I think we're okay. I think we're okay to continue. All right, Mr. Fuff. Yeah, dude, that's a great idea. Or like you could turn it into a Plex server, a media server. You could probably use it as a streaming PC, maybe. Oh yeah, but Fuff, I mean, think about it. If you're going to be upgrading your new computer, you might get a good deal on a more modern GPU, and then that 1080 could be brought back to the spare parts machine as well. You know, that 1080 Ti is still pretty fucking capable as a GPU. I mean, it's showing its age now, but it's still pretty capable. Yeah, Synology is some good stuff for sure. But you know, Plex is pretty neat if you've never played around with that, and I'm not sure how much interest you have in that, but I mean, there's endless possible. I mean, hell, you could even turn it into like a freaking arcade machine if you really wanted to. Like, I mean, there's nothing stopping you. Clean up all this crappy thermal paste that's now on my mat. It can do 1440p for the 1080i. Um, 100% the 1080 Ti is very capable of doing 1440p. Now I wouldn't expect like 120 frames out of it, but I was able to usually get around 80 to 100 in most games when I had that in my machine, and I ran 1440p. So yeah, and that Buttplex, like I gotta dip into that world and check it out. I mean, like I know what it is, but I've honestly never used it. Oh, jeez, I'm a dummy. I didn't even realize I had to put the freaking CPU shield on first before the. Ugh, so dumb, so dumb. A little bit of thermal paste. Yeah, the monitors are where you're going to get bit. I'm sure they've gotten a lot cheaper these days. But when I was buying 1440p monitors, my monitors were $500-600 a pop. Not cheap. Not cheap. That being said, quite literally some of the nicest monitors I've ever owned. I am not upset with my purchases, so I'm just going to squish this around just a little bit, getting everything lined up. Kind of helps spread the thermal paste around a little bit. There we go. Nothing wrong with 1080, but if you really want to move to the 1440 world and get some better resolution, you're gonna pay the price for it for sure. Although I'm sure you could probably get some sub like $300 options these days that are very capable. I think we're starting to move into the realm of like 8K or 10K or something stupid. So we're probably going to start seeing a shift in the monitor market here in the next little bit. I don't like how they changed this design too. So a piece of copper tape underneath this. Really wish I knew what kind of adhesive I should put on that. I'm obviously getting more comfortable with this thing because that just popped right out without much fuss. Now I gotta remember how to hook up the Wi-Fi shit. Their new Wi-Fi design is also equally as annoying as everything else they've changed. You gotta remember how this hooks up now. Okay, I think this goes like that. Yeah? Does it? Or is it sliding like this? Feels like it wants to do that, but that doesn't seem right. That seems... Well, I guess that would work. Okay. Alright, let's clean this old thermal paste off real fast and see if I can't maybe get some of this gunk off as well. You can tell how new these systems are because of the thermal paste is still so wet. So I don't know if somebody attempted to repair this or not. I'm thinking they didn't, but I don't know why that thermal paste leaked the way that it did. Let's see what we can do here. So it's kind of rust. Let's see if I can't just whatever this stuff, rust or crusty sugar junk, which is what's coating the rest of this. I think it's crusty sugar junk. It's flaking off too weird to be rust. I literally don't know what this stuff is, but it's not going to come off. I never did. I forgot to buy the deoxit too, so let's try to get some of that off. Yeah, so now I did just notice what you just said there too about photo and video work. If you're really interested in getting good suggestions on monitors to do that, get in touch with Hype. I'm sure you already know, but get in touch with Hype, because it's basically his life. So he would be able to tell you like exactly what would be a good fit for your budget and needs. I could also give my sister a tap on the shoulder. It's kind of her field as well, or was her field for a long while, and she's a very big photog nerd anyway. So she might have some very good suggestions on monitor for digital work. Alright, so this stuff is actually, I don't want to say it's coming up, but it's got a little bit better. I don't know what got spilled in this, but it was sticky and it was enough to fry the USB port and stop it from working. Yeah, see, like this stuff is just baked on, so I wonder if I'm just seeing maybe some heat damage or what, but no matter what I do, I'm scraping pretty hard, and it's like not a care in the world what I'm doing. So I think we're kind of stuck on the limits of what I can clean here. That's okay. I mean, it's just a heat shield. It's not that important, but again, I'm anal, so this crap is. Let's get it off my mat. Another one of those USB shields, which I'm just going to throw away because fuck those things. Oh boy, I'm really digging this music station too. Man, this is a great find. I don't know if it's supposed to stick on or what, but if you notice, I'm kind of trying to protect the screen as much as possible because unfortunately new OLED screens are like $130, so you don't want to mess them up. Sorry, this is kind of a new experience for me here. Just trying to figure out the best way to do this. Usually these just slide on just fine, but now I've got this stupid Wi-Fi antenna to worry about. Thinking it's just gonna just like that. I think we're good there. Alright, so 4 grins, and I know I just spent all that time getting that work, but I'm going to just to make ease my mind a little bit. Technically, I should be using a viscous thermal paste there versus this stuff. This stuff doesn't really handle large gaps very well, but it'll work. And the functionality of that stuff is long been debated as useless, so but every little bit of heat dissipation can help, in my opinion, as long as you're not going extreme about it. Okay. Hey man, good to see you, Fuff. Hope you have a good weekend, dude. There we go. Guess it kind of self-corrects there after a little bit, but what an unnecessary pain in the butt, eh? Man, I stole this OLED. I stole it. $100 for this thing. Holy crap. I was expecting to either get like not an OLED or something so unbelievably broken that I couldn't even salvage parts from it if I wanted to. And boy, was I pleasantly surprised to find out I was wrong. Okay, I feel like why? I have 2 screws that I'm now trying to locate homes for. I think I found one. I think both are gonna go here actually. Got this one. And I think we have fortunately, I just have not worked on enough of these to have all this memorized just yet, so I'm kind of fumbling a little bit. This is it. This is the home for it, I'm pretty sure. It looks to be. Looks to be. Alright, so let's see if we can't get this tape to cooperate for me again. You know, if you guys lose this tape or loses its stickiness, A little capped on tape would be just fine if you felt like needing to tape them down, which I probably would, but again, this is another design change from Nintendo that I'm not a fan of. But it is what it is. Alright. Oh boy, you just decided to take a little journey there, didn't you? Now this guy will cooperate with me here. Meant to go.
I had a dream about you and me. Don't worry, you said.
Okay.
No more lies,
Last one.
no more truth is left unsaid. We can do this. We can do this.
Alright, close enough for government work, eh? God, this thing is dusty and in need of a clean. This thing's somehow got the viscous thermal paste all over it and lots of dust. Blow that off real quick, and then we're gonna clean off this thermal paste real fast. Oh, you just didn't want to kind of get out. Just a little nooks and crannies in this plastic here. It's this one's a bop. This channel was hitting on all fucking cylinders for me. I'm gonna have to start listening to this one regularly. Honestly. Alright, screw it. You need it. Flood that with some alcohol. We're just a nice little scrubby scrub here. Just I don't know, is this the liquid that came in maybe? Adhesive or I'm using the flat part of my tweezers here to dislodge whatever the crap that is. Stiff bristle brush real fast. Wipe whatever the heck that was off. Do I have anything like that on the other side? Don't know. Don't care. We're gonna go for it anyway. See a little bit. Part of me is just really curious as to what the heck they soaked this in. Like, what caused the liquid damage in the first place? You know, like Alright. Blow off some of this air or this alcohol real quick. We'll have to clean that sticker off too. Kind of satisfying watching alcohol dry, not gonna lie. I don't know if anybody out there has been paying attention to the DKO, these scandals that are popping up left and right daily on YouTube, but this is what refurbishing a console looks like. Apparently it's not something they do, even though they claim to do it, and then charge you a literal arm and a leg for a console that isn't even refurbished. Now, I will say I actually have done business with them before, and I did purchase very reasonably priced power adapters for Sega Genesis, and I purposely bought a cosmetically damaged version of Spy Hunter to test, so I'd have a working copy now. I say that, I've never actually tested that, and now I'm really nervous that what I've got isn't going to work, and it doesn't really matter. I've got the flash cart now anyway, but I might have gotten bid on that. I'm kind of tempted, and I'm probably going to jump on the bandwagon, and I'll open the cartridge up and see what it's like on the inside. Again, it was cosmetically flawed. I bought it for the express purpose of testing Nintendo with, because I do like to test with original hardware, because if you guys followed me on my recent Game Boy adventures, you would notice that sometimes those flash carts can throw unexpected curveballs at you. Yep, I was afraid that was going to happen. I don't like this. The way they do the membrane for the power and the volume is not very agreeable to me. They used to have, unless it tore? But like one side doesn't want to stay put now, and I don't know why. Might actually have to get that under the microscope. I think it's supposed to come in, and then like this little rubber piece right here is supposed to hook under this post right here. Is it supposed to sit on the post? Or is this ripped and I'm missing something? I don't think it's ripped. Just not wanting to cooperate for me though. That feels like how that should go. Let's grab my Captain tape here. So this little rubber membrane right here kind of got warped somehow. Definitely didn't rip. So there's two little posts in the back over here. This kind of squishes down on, which is fine. That hooks up. And that tracks just like I expected to. Might actually have to do this under a microscope because my eyes are not really good enough to see here. There's nothing holding in this other side. I don't get... There we go. Is that how it's supposed to work? I guess that's how it's supposed to work, just like I thought. This little rubber nub. There's a plastic post like right here, and this little rubber nub slides underneath it to hold everything in place. I'll see if I can't get it to work. Still doesn't feel right. Okay, I'll try again, I guess. It's supposed to just kind of snap together. And it did. Okay. I think we are good. And now we can move on to the case screws. Oh, I hope we're okay. I mean, I still have to check the that Joy-Con was kind of finicky, but I think it was I don't know. I might have been putting some weird pressure on it because it was kind of like just half together, really. Let's screw that's from. So these big fat boys here for the Joy-Con rails. Phillips. Okay, well that's odd. Yeah, maybe I should have looked at that rail. That is the right rail. I might have to replace this Joy-Con rail. Yeah. Let's take a look. I feel stupid now, but I think, luckily, well, I'm going to have to take it down to the motherboard anyway, but just look. Get a little look-see here, huh? Oof. Yeah, I should have looked at that before I put her away. Well, dang. I might...
Forget all the
Don't think. Know how willing I am to do this with this the way it is. I don't want to rip that ribbon cable. Yeah, I'm afraid I'm going to rip that ribbon cable if I do it this way. Oh, shoot. I guess before I got too crazy with it, all right, well, yeah, before things get too wonky down here, I'm just going to do this the right way. And we're going to, what the heck is that? Plastic? No, okay. Okay, so we're gonna clean here. We're gonna take this Joy-Con rail off and clean it. I might need to buy a new one. It's just gonna kind of suck because I guarantee they're gonna be stupid effing expensive. Should have trusted my gut. I don't know why I did not look at the damn Joy-Con rail before I put everything back together. As soon as I saw there was an issue with it. I should have just investigated the port. I'm guessing that's probably where the liquid came in. Now, the good news is it did seem like it was able to make contact and work. So I'm kind of hoping just a little bit of alcohol and a stiff brush is going to be all I need. All right. Kind of just hoping I could just do this. Oh, I guess it came off anyway. Who cares? All right, so now okay. All right, so now I should. Oh, look at that. Good thing I looked at this because the latch is undone. Alright, so let's take a look at this under the microscope here. And, oh, man, my neck is not feeling good right now. Okay. And you can see, well, that gunk. So these, they used to be the old models, just held in by these little push pins, very similar to how like a watch band works. And I used to be able to wow, I might not be able to do that anymore. You used to be able to pop this little pin out right here. Let's see if maybe a tweezer. I'm thinking they riveted this now. Oh shoot. Well, I guess we're gonna just basically have to like hope for the best here. I've got a stiff brush, so let's just try about maybe getting some alcohol in there and seeing about. It seemed to clean up okay, so it's kind of saying like it was making connections, so that's a good sign. It means that at least nothing has like corroded to the point where there's no plating on the pins, and that could have been also the Joy-Con might have kind of just struggling to connect in the beginning because it had a bunch of junk to cut through, and now dislodged it. Now I'm cleaning it, so I mean, kind of hoping for the best here. Just could get like a toothpick or my Poke Jammy maybe in there. pretty good. I won't say it's perfect, but I think, god dang, let me just grab this with a pair of tweezers so my fat fingers aren't in the way here. I'm thinking I probably got most of the gunk out. Yeah. Well, we'll plug it back in, and I'll keep my eye on it. You know, I always test these things for a good week or two before I sell them anyway. And to be quite honest, if the thing just keeps losing connection, I'll order some new Joy-Con rails for the OLED. And it's really the my only other option with this, since I can no longer separate the board from the rail, which is odd, but I'll keep working on it. Maybe I'll find a solution for it, because generally when it comes to corroded Joy-Con stuff, like usually if it's causing you issues, you just replace it, you know. They're cheap, relatively cheap. And not worth the headache of dealing with it. But if you needed to get in there and just clean off some very light corrosion or whatever, it was kind of nice to be able to do that. I swear to God, this is supposed to go. I think that's supposed to go up top. And this guy right here. Oh, I did not switch my camera back over. Not doing anything exciting anyway. But you know, it's probably better than looking at a blank blue screen. Alright, so we reattached the Joy-Con rail here. Now we're going to hook the cable back into the slot. Yeah, that is right. That is right. I knew I was right. So we'll have to undo that one. So apparently the collared screws are meant for the top portion. Alright, so let's grab you. And my tweezy tweeze. Okay, so this time we're going to make sure you're flipped up. You are. Oh boy, this new design is, it's like so awkward because the cable is above, so you gotta like angle it down. It's hard to explain, but it's not a flat slide in like everything else is on the board. Watch that thermal paste too, it's gonna get everywhere on me. Okay, you are being a pain in my butt for no reason other than you just want to be a pain in my butt, right? Latch is up. The latch was not up. Okay. Why are you being such a pain in my ass? All right. Okay, I guess that's the way to do it then. All right, now I got to make sure to push this down. Okay. All right. Alright, I'm going to just save myself some time because if I've got to order a new Joy-Con rail, there's no freaking point in me putting this all back together again just to take it apart again. Okay, so we need my test battery because this one's not charged and we'll turn on. And power you up. Let's see what we got here, huh? Yeah, see, like it's just I don't know what to say. It seems like it's fine. All right, we're gonna put it back together and just work on the assumption it's fine, and I'm gonna let it sit and play with it for like a week. And if I just get those weird intermittent connection issues with the damn thing, then I know that I've just got to go buy a new rail. I think it's fine though, honestly. Guess it would kind of help if I put this on the correct way. Get you back in frame here, huh? I actually know this one because I have this one in my library from way back when. Great track, great track. Way back in the day, I used to DJ, and a big part of me really misses it. Just miss going out and going dancing, honestly, more than DJing. Although the DJing was real fun towards the end when I wanted to dance less and play more. Never really was anything amazing, but I could open up pretty well. Last one. Okay. Oh boy. Feels good to get that done. Okay, let's get the Wi-Fi antennas back in place so this unit can actually connect to the internet. Okay, got that one. No, I guess that's how it was. I guess I got the membrane fixed out. Yeah. Okay, so that's looking good. And now we just. Oh, yeah, let me squish that back in a proper positioning. It's not. Oh, that's cool. The heat shield kind of holds that into place then. Let's see. Neat. And this just all basically snaps back into place. Okay. And we know that so this screw is wrong. Collared screw goes up top. There we go. That's a better fit. Other collared screw goes up top. So by collared screw, it's kind of hard to see, but you can like, it's got threads, and then it goes up to a smooth spot. It's just like a little bumpier screw. It's not all thread. And that one goes to the top screw hole because the back plate has a small plastic eyelet that this goes through to kind of secure the back plate to the frame. So you only have to take out the top screws. That's not right because that one's already in there. So we are missing one big screw, which is this guy. Look at that. See, now that's probably why this is not really sitting flush. I've got this dust cover thing that is it not? Looking at this, just trying to see if board's aligned. Alright, we're good. Not really a big fan of this. I am and I'm not. See, this doesn't feel right though. Like it feels like that. It's off some. One. More. Really in frame, but I don't really know how exciting watching so many screw and fasteners really is. Okay. Switch back to the Phillips. Now we got these possibly tiny ass screws, which thankfully are way more magnetic than their prior counterparts. Just be careful with these guys. These posts tend to strip. And then the final. Whew. Well, this one was a journey, a very good journey. And with that, dead, but we knew that going in that the battery is going to need a charge, but she's done. That's it, folks. Ugh. Take these headphones off for a second. My neck is hurting so much. Well, that's an OLED. That's my second confirmed fixed OLED. Oh, I say second. It's technically 1.5 because the other one that I fixed, I did actually determine the USB port's not functioning correctly on it. It only charges on one side. So we're going to have to open that back up later and do the same thing we just did to this one and replace the port on it. Which is a shame, but I got plenty. I actually got to order more. Go to China. I found a much better source for ports. They're about 50 cents a pop. Even pre-cut switch ports for $1, but I'll probably end up still doing those myself. Switch light ports anyway. Alright, I'm taking a break. I'll be right back, folks. Okay. Alright, I'm back. Had to just take a couple seconds here and give my neck a break. Go look at a couple other things off stream real fast, and I'm back. I think I'm going to make this switch here and the last one for the day, but who knows how long that'll take. This one, unfortunately, is going to be probably a pretty easy fix. This is the one where I got literally everything working except for the game card reader. So we're going to just swap the game card reader out for another one, see if that fixes it. And if it does, I think what I'm going to do for grins is I might, first of all, get the proper white chip here. I wonder that wasn't working very well. I'm going to try to replace the actual reader. So like the actual thing that accepts the game card. Let's see if I can't repair to replace it. I'm convinced that it's just the pins on the inside that look so messed up that I don't think it was making proper contact with the game card. So yeah, that's right. God dang it. I hate these screws. Y'all have no idea how much I hate these effing screws. Because they strip like none other. And then you guys sit here and put all this wonky pressure to get the screw out. Metal on plastic never works. Never will. Don't know why it's used in these designs. Guess they're not really expecting folks to open them up very often. And theoretically, you shouldn't have to open them up very often, so I get that. Oh, that's right, and then we need to, always forget, middle Joy-Con rails first, and then we can lift up and get that top screw. But, you know, it is what it is. It's just Nintendo being Nintendo. I guess that's probably why they... well, no, they didn't, because it's still the same freaking design for... There you go. Okay. So, like, what I'm bitching about, if I can get this thing off... Oh, it's cracked, that's why. Well, like, it's not a hard fix. Because you can buy these back plates pretty easy, and just a couple of screws, but this little tab right here, it sucks. And see, like, yeah, you can see, like, down here, this little tab broke, this tab's cracked. So, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, they're not expensive to replace, but it's just, you know, just bad design, man. Bad design. Alright, so we gotta go ahead and take the SD card reader off, this metal shielding off. Hopefully this will be a nice quick repair. This is the one where probably just change that out. I don't know. That silver screw where that black screw goes is not correct. Probably wants to go out and buy a micro screwdriver. motorized thing. Might make some of this easy. I don't know. Part of me is very hesitant because motorized stuff on sensitive electronics is usually not a very good mix. But you never know. So do I have to take off this heatsink? I think I do. It's kind of effing sucks, but not a huge deal. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take it off. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Thankfully, it's not much of a tear down here. And I've got a spare card reader I think should work. Now, card readers are kind of version dependent. I think it's like there are 2 versions of it, so you got to be careful. This might not work. This direct swap might not work, but we're gonna try it. And add new thermal paste anyway, so just for Sandy's sake, so I don't get this crap all over my hands. Just clean it off, eh? And then okay, so now this is the digitizer as well. Gotta pop that off, and then take this LFDC connector right here, like so. It should just all come off as one unit. So, what I'm thinking, what I'd like to do, and I don't know if it's going to be possible, because man, might be able to. I'd have to. I can't pull. Oh, see, man, that's gonna be a shitty job. Yeah, because I can't heat from underneath because I'd melt off that freaking connector. That's a BGA chip right there. Yeah, I can see why people just replace this whole effing thing. I might be able to get this off. It'd be a ginormous pain in the ass because it's mounted. He's got these 4 mounting posts that I'd have to desolder. I might be able to make it work from above. Maybe. I know there's plastic under this though. I'm worried about that melting. Oh man, what a mess. So this one's bad, so let's just put this over here. We got a spare over here, I do believe. Okay, so let's just pull you out. Okay. It's definitely a good screen. I gotta hold on to. Get it organized. Okay, so let's go ahead. What the heck is this? Warranty sticker? Weird. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. And get 1 screw put in you just to make this a little bit easier. all I'm going to want to do is I'm going to need to verify the digitizer still works, and then I can read game cards. And once I get that verified, then I can figure out what I'm going to do with the spare. Okay, that's in there, and now I hate this part. I always feel like I fumble pretty hard with this. Sometimes, and sometimes it just... Make sure I'm not destroying anything. I hate blind connections, man. There we go. Hate them. I wonder though. Well, no, because if it was the FPC connector that was damaged, and the digitizer wouldn't work either, theoretically. So I'm not sure. And those pins visually without a microscope look just fine. And I know that when I looked in... Yeah, see, there's one or two sets of pins that are funky on this thing right here, and I wanted to pull this off to see if I could straighten the pins, because you can get to them better from the backside. But see, you can see, like, I got this plastic connector right here, this BGA chip right here, and yeah, both are pretty shitty. Literally don't know how I would do that. I mean, I guess I would have to just like manually try to desolder it, and then pull the solder off the legs to free those up, and desolder this with some hot air maybe, and I could possibly, as long as I got all those mounting holes taken care of, I could probably just lift this straight off. Of course, it's the other issues. Getting into a bore holder and then not melting any other plastic. I mean, it's not gonna be a fun job. Let's just put it that way. All right. Well, let's just try. See if we can get the game card reader to work.
Imagine everything you ever wanted.
I also need to make sure the digitizer works too, because I'm assuming if it's incompatible. Okay, that's a good sign. It's a really good sign. Now the other thing is that if the game card reader doesn't work, then I know that I got a problem with the motherboard, which is a whole different ball game. But nope, 100%. That was a game card reader issue. So yeah, okay. Well, this should now be fully functional. And get everything put back together. Alright, well, we got that taken care of. So that means that we just gotta screw you back together. Yay! Mm. 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 But I'll take it, you know. That's why we have spares. Just sucks. This one was, I think I remember this one was kind of full of many little tiny surprises I just kept unlocking as I went through the fix, but from what I can remember, it wasn't too terrible. We need some fresh thermal paste, which is right here. Thankfully, I don't have to clean anything else off because we're using the same thermal paste, so it should not have any problems. Don't need to use as much as I normally do because there is still some on the heatsink, but you're always better off with a little extra thermal paste and not enough. I mean, you don't want to drown your board in the stuff, but don't get caught up in that stupid perfect amount of thermal paste crap. Okay, I put that on the wrong way. So let's do it. I generally like to kind of get the heat pipe part in first. There we go. Yeah, let's see, since I didn't clean that heat pipe off, what did I do but stick my fingers right in the freaking thermal paste? That's okay. I'll be getting a good wash when I'm done. Probably should invest in a pair of ESD gloves or something. But I'm just so nonplussed about this stuff. Everybody's just so germophobic about shit, and I just don't care. You're literally handling. I think I should probably care though, considering the fact that I am handling, lead-based products and whatnot. But I'm not. If I die, I die. That's my philosophy. So begins the reattachment of the heat shield. And again, it would help if I put it on correctly. Easy enough. I spent some time with that Neo Geo last night. I built last afternoon, and it is a pretty neat little system. It is an unbelievably niche system, but it is very neat. And I have to say, I'm not upset with my purchase. Only about 100 games for it, and then if you want to include the Monochrome Pocket games that came out before it, you have a whole whopping extra 10. So the SNK is a very, very long and storied history of failed hardware launches. And, everybody knows Neo Geo, most likely from the arcade, but if you're a game enthusiast, you definitely understand what the AES is, and that's the Advanced Entertainment System, which was their first foray into the home market. And that thing was a whole whopping like $600, $700 in 1990s money, so we're talking close to $2,000. Alright, again, I like to take off this little piece of rubber here because it makes attaching the FPC connector a lot easier. So, as I was saying, because of and on top of which the software itself is, the titles were like, another $200 to $300 per game. And the only thing that you could say is that it really was like having an arcade system in your house. I mean, it really was. I was not privileged enough to own one as a kid. In fact, I just had this conversation the other day. I've literally only ever seen one out in the wild when it was still a brand new thing, and it was a department store. I can't remember if it was like Sears or I think it was Sears. And they had a console out hooked up to a TV playing Baseball Stars, and it was the most amazing thing to me as a kid. See, I've always wanted one. I will own one. They're still extraordinarily expensive. Finding broken and used ones is essentially the same as buying finding a broken one, it costs as much as buying a used one. So go back and forth. If I ever got presented with a deal I could not say no to, then I would 100% jump on it. It's very hard to commit $300 to something that you might not be able to fix. And on top of which, even if I did get it running, the flash cartridge for it costs as much or more than the system does. The flash cartridge itself, when it is available, is somewhere around $500. A fantastic piece of equipment, don't get me wrong, especially considering the fact that the games themselves still fetch hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars, depending on what you're looking for, because, welcome to the video game market. Rare stuff is rare, and you will pay out the butt for it, and Neo Geo is not the exception to the rule, it is the creator of the rule. So if I was going to buy a system, I would also be planning on buying a flash cart, because as I've stated before, I'm just not really into the physical cartridge thing. I think, hey, it's cool and I appreciate it. I just don't have the room or the desire to hunt down my collection. If I'm going to play, I would much rather just pop in one of Crix's products and have the entire library on an SD card, and there you go, you're done. And that's exactly what I've done for pretty much all of my systems. Go out, fix them, then go out and buy a flash card for them and download the library and not play them, because I haven't had any time to really play them much. So they just kind of sit looking pretty, which is fine. Looking pretty is not a bad thing. I definitely do want to get some time on them at some point. I bought, like I mentioned at the start of the stream, I bought that the power supply from DK Oldies, because the one I have is a cheap modern version, and by cheap I mean I'm surprised the thing even freaking works. And the audio hum, oh my lord, I turned it on for about 2 minutes, and I think I made it through about 2 minutes of a game before that audio hum was just like, I was done. Stuff like that drives me bonkers. I mean, if it's like a little bit, it's not that big of a deal, but this was like, you could hear it over everything, and all because that stupid freaking power brick was so noisy and poorly designed. Yeah. Well, those screws should hold in just fine. Last one. Alright, she works. Okay, 2 for 2 today. Not bad. Not bad. Although, admittedly, this was an easy repair. I kind of knew it was going to be easy. I was just super lazy last week and had zero interest in taking it apart again to fix it. So, because I knew that's all I was going to do was just swap the game card reader. But maybe we'll save that other repair for. Perfect. Okay, so the SD card reader works. The other thing I wanted to verify. You would save that, because that'd be kind of a fun little. You don't really see that done that often. Usually if there's a game card issue, the solution is just fucking chunking a spare game card reader. So you don't really see people like repair, but just making sure that my Wi-Fi works here. I was pretty sure I verified that. Yeah, there it is right there. Cool. cool. Well, I do like fixing things on stream. There was a while where that was not happening. Yeah, it is an unfortunate reality of this hobby. Is you do end up with a lot of a lot of shit that's just not fixable. So, yeah. Oh man. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go and enjoy the rest of my Sunday. I feel like I had a pretty successful day on the bench today. We got that OLED switch fully functional. I replaced the USB port on it, and we verified all the functionality on it. It now charges, displays, and runs, whereas before it was a no power situation. I do have to charge the battery on that. It's the only thing left that I do, which I'm about to start here off stream. And then we fixed a Nintendo a Switch that we worked on last week, where all I really had to do was just kind of swap out the game card reader, because the one that was in there, unfortunately, some of the pins do look like they're going to be damaged. And so we got that working. That's really all we did today. It was Daylight Savings Day today, so I got started a little bit later than I wanted to, but I also enjoy my sleep, which I'm sure a lot of you also enjoy. I'm sitting here kind of scraping off stick glue as we speak. But hopefully next week. Did that really just take off the paint? Oh Lord, I might actually have to go buy a new backplate for this thing. I'm gonna turn the screen back on real quick. Look at this. I just rubbed that with some alcohol, and look what it did. Whatever was on there must have eaten into the paint on the back. Maybe? I don't know. Here, let's just clean this on stream. That was bizarre, because I've literally never seen that. I just spilled alcohol everywhere. So we're going to clean the whole thing. Again, I've got plenty of these, so I'll legitimately have to swap this thing out. I really won't care. But I just wiped that with a Q-tip. I think it was just gunk, honestly, because it's black. Yeah, just gunk. Okay, well, that's fine. Back to the ending. I thought I was done. They pulled me back in. Okay, well, this one just needed a game card swap, and it was very basic, but we walked through that, just popping it off, popping a new one back in, and it is working now. So we're gonna call it a day. Anyone who stopped in, anyone, thank you for the likes, follow, subscribes, chat, comments. Do appreciate you. Once again, I do stream on the weekends, every weekend. I do think, however, next weekend, due to some life issues, not even issues, just I do have some things going on next week that might prevent me from streaming on the weekend. I will do my best to get back up here. I do stream on Saturday and Sundays, usually between 11 a.m. and noon Central Standard Time. So feel free to drop them again. If you see anything or you're interested in these services to have anything repaired, modified, please feel free to reach out to me here via DM, and we'll walk through details on it. And if I don't see you next weekend, I'll see you the weekend after then. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and that Daylight Savings Day did not treat you terribly, and you get some extra sleep tonight. And hopefully I'll see you here next week, and if not, the week after that. All right, guys, I am going to call it a day, and